Some of that right now. He should coast on through to the quarterfinals tonight. Just needs to get through this without making a mistake.
Again, conservative on the handbrake and not a lot of angle on the entry from Merriman. But, I mean, he's got the advantage early on, and then seeing Duar drop that wheel through the middle section, it's a good advantage for Merriman. He's just got to play it safe, keep close, and not make a mistake. That's what Drift plays for the series. Battles back around now. We're riding on board with Benny Meir as Alex Sharker chucks it in to turn 3 there.
Yeah, good to have Alex Sharker back in the competition after a little stint on the sidelines. Benny Meir trying to get nice and close on the Sharks' door. That 1J powered RX-8 looking good.
Seemed to drop a bit of speed there, switching back between 5 and 6, and Benny Meir is all over Sharker. And through qualifying, and now this is going to be the battle as they both switch positions. Dan Christic out in front now. Mo El-Houli in that Turbo LS Garageworks S13. I reckon that's the car to beat in terms of speed this weekend. Heading nice and wide. Not only is that rotary singing and Dan Christic getting the speed.
It's the win that time over Mike Jones. We'll move on to Derek Newsom taking on Kieran Ratcliffe. And Newsom doing a nice job in front. Ratcliffe needs to do everything he can in the chase position. Emulates him nicely through this section.
A couple of newcomers out here again having a good solid crack and a really good run there from that Derek Newsom in the lead.
Kieran Ratcliffe this time, he goes too wide, takes the rear bar now off the skyline. He's going to continue with the drift though and try and push through, because every little advantage, you never know if the...
More technical. And Andy's the first of our B-listed drivers to actually make it through. So as a chasing driver, he's the first guy to make it through today. James Abbott in desperate need of some big results and going aggressive at the start with Gavin Edwards doing the chasing.
Yeah, that's exactly how you do it, Chad. Jabbett is no stranger to clipping points, no stranger to learning to drive exactly how the judges...
This one's going to be very interesting. Can he upset James Abbott, or will Abbott be the one who comes out with the advantage on this one? Brody Mayer will lead us away. You can see we're on board with James Abbott there, and he grabs the handbrake, pulls it up to the door of the Bonnie Energy S13. Mayer with a nice transition into the final corner. It's all power down. You see the car start to drive, and Brody Mayer just gets the win. Campaign sticks it right on the edge of the wall, just loses the winglet on the side there as he goes out so wide. Doesn't faze him at all. Leaves a little bit of room there though for Matt Harvey to put the nose in like the judges want to see. And Matt Harvey, I don't think you can do it any better in a chase position here as he just sticks it to the side of Dale Campaign. Backs off for a fraction. Transition done nicely. And then you're on the bake for the final corner and gets right up alongside it.
So probably the worst spot to make a mistake, right in front of them.
Definitely, and I'm sure he knows that as much as the audience do. Rob Arbolino now in front with a bit of a lead to catch up on. Both drivers struggling for traction on what is a deceptively steep hill climb through the S-bends of Sydney South Circuit.
Get on the side of Danny Prober there. Oh, they've almost made contact, and Prober tries to pull it up. Well, that's a hard one there. Not wanting to make contact with Saxon Moyes. He's got on that foot brake, and unfortunately he's turned the big ACUG XD Falcon around.
Well, I definitely don't blame him for that. I don't know how many of those doors are still left hanging around in the country. There'd be a few, but most of them would be full of rust. It's a fair bit of work to replace a door if he does happen to hit him. Unfortunately, though, turning around, that's going to be a Saxon Moyes clear win.
Front. And it's great to see the return this time of Warwick Hill.
Yeah, it's good to see. Look, two of the older boys coming back into the series. It's definitely going to be great.
Plenty of experience. We know they've done this under wet conditions before, side by side. It's all going to come down to experience in these conditions for me, Glenn, though. You can see that. Two very experienced drivers.
The advantage, what can you produce as we go on board with that big Nissan?
Having that twin-turbo V8 screaming in your driver's window has got to be intimidating, but Mitch seems to be doing it pretty well. Really aggressive transition there, actually. A lot of angle, and coming onto this bottom straight, will he hold it onto the track edge? That is an exceptional lead run through that bottom section there for Mitch, and he's actually put some distance on up against Rob.
On the limit around the top, Mitch Sanders.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having the driver, the 86 there, Bobo. Hit me up, mate. Might have to change the seat, but we'll be right. Anthony Billick foot flat. Both the show yates all over him in the chase.
Beautiful emulation on that switchback there, and I'm sure we're going to see the same thing coming into turn 6. There he is, and bang.
Oh, nice.
Precision to the second and diving in on the door. That is what a chase lap should look like from our first place qualifier. And even how impressive for Finney to outpace someone who is a reigning champion of the High-Tech Drift All-Star Series. You know, Brad Toohey has had a lot of tough battles in his time, so for Finney to pack on some extra speed is very impressive. But it looks like he's gone a little bit deep there off the outside of the first corner. He's going to be absolutely gutted for a guy who's been driving so well in that big JZ powered S15, but it looks like Brad Toohey
dabbed the brake there for a second, stalled up for a moment, and Flash Smith, who's been doing so good in the Pro-Am and the Pro category this weekend. Let's see how he goes. Stays on his door nicely, the transition done, the emulation's good here through this section. Look at Flash go.
Wow, he is all over him. Flash Smith, I thought, geez, he's a little way back here. Got a little bit checked up by Clea on the initiation, but now he's just sticking it up his door, giving him some space there. Clea just seeming to have a little bit of an issue getting it into that top corner.
Yeah. As we head to the replay here, you can see them both coming up over the hill. A little bit conservative there with a brake lock up, sending him straight to the inside of the track, missing the end of that entry cliff, and chasing with passion, actually coming out with the win here over Jeffries. Valiant effort there after.
Let's have a look at this one. Bo Gagliardi now will lead us out in that V8 power Toyota, and it's got heaps of power on board too. And in the chase, the Zoo Performance Pro-Am will be Mitch Budd. Less than 2 to go. The V8 making so much noise. He carries that huge amount of speed in. It's looking very settled on the car, and Bud has to try and get the nose down the inside. Bo Gagliardi with it. He just got through. And look at the speed, though, as Brodie Mayer throws in the Bonnie Energy S13. That poor little SR working so hard. Goes out a little bit wide there. Keeps control, though. Nice switch back there. The transition's good. Like James Abbott having a few dramas trying to keep with the pace of Brodie Mayer. Here we go, sacrifice a little bit of angle there to get the proximity up, and you see the big High-Tech Oils banner. Just trying.
Although it wasn't as close as we'd like to see, not being as big a mistake as Jabbett made his way through. Big mistake there from Adam Davies, shooting him off into the infield, letting the other Blaze Unit car drive uncontested, with Scott Shembry now chasing Dave Steedman into the familiar first corner of Sydney Motorsport Park South Circuit and walking through to the top 8.
Yeah, Scott Shembry getting the win. He made it to the final 4 at round 1 of the High-Tech Oil.
Coming off the back, it's a big signature from the Jawar engine power plants, but he's very shallow there, right up on the ripple strip. Does he leave enough room that time for Patrick Barley to put the nose in? Switch back now, they go through the middle section. Big smoke show on for the Irishman, here he goes. Patrick Barley's right there, though you can see the nose of the Corvette just poking its way through. He's side by side through the final corner. Look and put on a show. The arms are already out. They're Ute taking on Patrick Barley in the C6 Corvette. Now, both these drivers have as much power as they want in dry conditions, but now they've got to try and control that in the wet. How much grip can they find in these cars? You can see Sadler, they're very shallow there on the ripple strip, which will hurt him in the judging. Patrick Barley just has to go around the outside. I think that Corvette's actually gripped up really well in the rain, because you can see he's struggling to actually slow the car down at some points throughout that.
Look at that thing, you got blue on there, heaps of changing lights, another digital dash and Billick's car as well. You can see a whole bunch of light coming out of these things while they keep eyes on the vitals. But I'd imagine both of these eyes are locked firmly on the windscreen and the car either in front or behind of them. How close does Bo want to get to Billy?
Through that bottom ditch, back up the hill. Dab at the brake and sideways once again. See how much lock these drift cars have. It's definitely what helps them get such amazing angles.
In the 240Z with the R35 powered engine, up against the man in the big powered S14 Carby. Just listen. Absolutely smoking tyres. Aaron Jawar out nice and wide, looking good.
Seems like Joel Dimmack had some issues. It was sounding mean on board with that late model R35 GTR
Oh no,
motor.
Joel's nearly spun it around. obviously chasing.
Actually very, not even lucky there. Just he's managed to pull together some awesome driving. 2.5 years out of the seat. Now this is a bloke to watch. Michael Prosnick, not only our points leader following his win in round 1 of the High-Tech Drift All-Stars, but also a local and a veteran of Winton Raceway. So Glenn Atkins really drawing the short straw there for his first battle to be up against the pros.